Scourge missiles are still good.
Yeah.
But you have to analyze Scourge Rex to figure it out.
Ah, the Scourge. The Scourge of the seas and the stars of the sky.
You only get Scourge if you get the Scourge event.
Yes, that's fact.
And that only that's what the end game monster you can fight. And
that's one thing I wish Stellaris would add more of is end game. More end game content. More of the conflicts, the crises.
Yeah.
It's fun when they made it so that the player can become the crises.
Yeah, you get to become the crisis. That was funny. Yeah, so you either get the contingency, extra dimensional invaders, which I've always gotten the extra dimensional invaders. Like I've never gotten
the nanite guys or whatever. Yeah.
And then the synthetic queen. All right, anyway. Hello and welcome to Basements, Faults, and Catapults. I'm one of your hosts, Aaron.
And I'm Trevor.
Yeah, so here we're going to be looking at games, genres, and things that we enjoy in gaming.
And to do that, we're going to randomly select a genre each episode.
Yeah, we'll give a brief rundown of what that genre is.
And then we'll select 2 games. One of these games will be something we want to catapult into glory, while the other will be cast into the fault lines riddling our basement lair. The catch in what we hope will be the fun part is that neither of us will have played, or at least played heavily, the titles the other has selected.
Yeah, we're going to take those titles, the best, the worst. We're going to divide them up. One of us plays good, one of us plays bad. We're going to give it an hour of playtime. We'll meet back up and chat about our experiences.
That's where we'll give our own opinions of the other's game, celebrate where we agree, and refrain from murdering each other where we disagree. After all, not everyone can have a perfect opinion.
Yeah, and that's it. We hope that you'll join us, listen in, maybe be inspired to try a few titles along the way, or, let us know exactly why our opinions are trash.
Thank you for joining us, and remember, treat people in your debt like family. Exploit them.
Oof.
The 111th rule of acquisition.
111th rule?
The Ferengi.
I like the Ferengi. They got some chutzpah.
I think they got some chutzpah too.
All right.
No, I love it. Quark was the best
Quark
of
was
all
amazing.
The Ferengi. And you know what? Armin Shimmerman, what a phenomenal portrayal of a character.
He writes novels.
Oh yeah.
He wrote a trilogy, I think, about an alien race that went back that's existed since time immemorial, and they took what's his face Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh yeah. Da Vinci. That's cool.
And now
like
Da Vinci's running around in the
Da Vinci's in the cosmos, immortalized.
The cosmos, yeah.
I like that. It's funny because Da Vinci is kind of immortalized because we always he always comes up in so many different pop culture references and artworks, and the name Da Vinci will probably be spoken for thousands upon thousands of years as long as there's people to speak the name.
Yeah, and there's the Vitruvian Man is out there in the cosmos right now.
Yes. Very cool. Very cool.
And the Vitruvian Man is that's how we're going to introduce ourselves to the world.
Hi aliens, here's a naked picture of me with a man. We've been sending dick pics through the internet.
How human of us?
How human of us? The first dick pic is the Vitruvian Man that's been sent out into space to meet all the aliens.
Yeah, we're sending out an unsolicited dick pic right off the hop.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way, but that's fact.
Yeah.
Michelangelo's David. I mean, that's just another immortalized version of a dick pic.
Yeah. I mean, there's more going on with David, but yeah.
Well,
okay.
Enough about odd ways to communicate.
Right. Let's talk about video games.
Let's talk about video games. So, like I mentioned, I've been playing V Rising.
Very
It's been a lot of fun.
It's a survival vampire simulator.
Yeah, it's kind of fun, like base building, survival, top down, kind of like a Diablo-esque style.
Yep.
But the combat is way more fun than Diablo ever could be.
I like the combat.
Diablo, Blizzard, you could learn a thing or two. Your combat system is boring. It is so boring.
There's a lot going on in Diablo 4 that we could talk about. But we're not going to today. No. Because that's not this episode.
Today, we're going to select a random genre by rolling a dice.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we are.
And that dice is in my hand. It is a 20-sided dice for you TRPG aficionados.
Oh, yes. And it is a 20-sided dice that has been used to play D&D.
Oh, so it's got the mojo. Anyway, I rolled a 12. Trevor, would you please input 12 into our random number generator?
I hit 12 and I hit roll.
What do we got?
Oh. When was the last time we did a city builder?
It wasn't that long ago. We played Sphere, or I played.
City Builder was episode 23, so 10 episodes ago we did a
Okay.
City Builder.
Well, what's the second option?
The second option is platformer, or the third option, fighters.
Huh. I don't think we've ever done a fighter.
We've never done a
I
fighter.
don't think we've ever done a fighter.
Have you played any fighter games?
I used to be really into Soul Calibur.
Oh, Soul Calibur, good times.
And I dabbled in Street Fighter. I'm not good by any stretch of the word anymore.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been good at those games.
So yeah, we can do a fighter.
Fighters. All right, we're gonna do fighter game.
Oh, you know what? Though we don't have the proper equipment for fighters because there's a lot of button mashing for fighters.
I've got 2 Switch controllers. We can just pair them through Bluetooth. I've been talking about it for ages. We might as well just do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, okay.
All right, I'll go get my Switch controllers.
Okay.
All right, come on, let's go grab our Switch controllers.
Okay. Join us in the magical world of editing.
Magical world of editing.
Tekken, Street Fighter, Party Animals, Mortal Kombat. Oh, that's a classic. Sifu. Sifu's fun.
Shifu.
I liked Sifu. I might make you play Sifu. I think it's your turn for the good game anyway. So yeah.
Is it? I don't know. I played. Oh yeah,
played
you're right.
Stacklands,
You're right. Actually, I played the crap out of Stacklands. I'm on the island now.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. Yeah, great game. Lots of
Stacklands is
fun.
it's simple, right? It's not doing much, but it's fun.
Yes. All right. So yeah, we got to pick out a fighter game.
We do. So now we have to make the hard choice. Do we play a multiplayer, like where we fight each other, or do we pick like a classic like Street Fighter, Soul Calibur kind of thing,
I would love.
or do we pick like a Sifu?
I would love to play something. Like, we could do it 2 ways. I'd love to either play something together, a good and a bad game that are both multiplayer. So,
Yeah.
maybe do 20 minutes of one game, 20 minutes another, half an hour one, half an hour the other. Or we just go straight good and bad. But I feel like with fighter games, a bad fighter game is going to be bad. It's going to be so bad. But either way, we need to mix a little good and bad in there, right?
We do. That's kind of the premise of our game.
So what tag are you looking up right now?
I literally pulled up fighting tag.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero. I would love to buy that, but like, no.
Not at the price.
So you said Soul Calibur was relatively cheap, hey?
Yeah, and I love Soul Calibur. I played a lot of Soul Calibur growing up.
Nice.
I main Ivy. I'm not good at Ivy anymore, but I used to be pretty good at Ivy.
I'm gonna look at multiplayer.
Gang Beasts looks funny.
Aha, stick fight. That could be fun. Oh my gosh, the number of free fighting games. My goodness.
Yeah. You know what? Let's do stick fight for fun,
Stick fight?
and then we'll pick one that's like, yeah, this looks like
Pick a gooder.
We're looking for bad, right?
Yeah, a bad one and which one's the stick one? Is that a good one?
It's very positive.
Is it?
It's it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the 5th highest on the top rated bit on the
It's called Stick Fight the Game?
Stick Fight the Game.
You know, it's actually on my ignored list.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually, I couldn't find it because it's on my ignored list.
What? Okay.
Why did I put this on my ignored list?
I don't know.
Let's see.
Yeah, because if it's like, oh, this developer or something is bad, then that would be really important to know, right?
It has no single player mode. Okay, well, that sounds fun.
Let's see what else we got, though. We got options.
That sounds fun. It was on my ignore list for some reason. I think I saw it and I was like, this looks like junk, so I'm going to hit it on my ignore list.
No, that's fair.
But, sometimes I judge a game by its cover.
Yeah, and that's...
I mean, the original soundtrack is $1.94. So, for a game to have a soundtrack, hey. Let's see. What are some other good fighting games?
There's always the classics. Street Fighter, which is like the gold standard. Soul Calibur, Tekken.
Yeah, Tekken. I played a lot of Tekken growing up.
There's the one that started off as a My Little Pony game, but they got hit with a cease and desist, so they had to change it, and now it's called Them's Fighting Herds.
Oh boy.
It actually looks really good. Lauren Faust was the producer. It's hilarious.
That's pretty funny.
What else you got here? One Piece Pirate Warriors. Yeah.
It's funny when I search by user reviews, some of the highest ones are definitely not even fighters. Man, Steam, gotta make this easier.
Well, I mean, like, what is a fighter? Like, is it an arena fighter, like the Mortal Kombats and Street Fighters of our youth, or are they now the side-scrolling beat 'em ups like Golden Axe
Yeah.
and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Well, for me growing up, it was Street Fighter, Capcom, SNK, right? So it was like Capcom versus SNK, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3, and then eventually Super Smash Bros.
Hey,
Super Smash Bros.
That's a classic.
It's a classic.
Whereas for me, it was Golden Axe 2 on the Sega Genesis.
Oh, okay.
And the
yeah.
difference there is yours was like, here's your opponent, fight, and whoever wins, wins.
Which was the one? It was Killer Instinct, where you have to, one of the characters is a Velociraptor.
Tekken.
Was it Tekken?
That's Tekken, yeah.
Huh.
Tekken had the weird ones, the Velociraptor, the bear. I think there was a kangaroo.
I think Killer Instinct might have too, but yeah, that's kind
You
of
might
cool.
be right. You might
That's
be
kind
right.
of cool. But yeah,
Um,
there's been so many different fighters over the years.
Oh, yeah. And arguably, the fighter DNA can be found in a lot of modern games, like the Elder Scrolls and things like that are very much...
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite has mixed reviews.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hmm. You know, when it comes to fighters, I've had my eyeball. I really wanted to get into Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero, like really, really wanted to. But
At
for $100,
$95, no way.
like it's so expensive, man. Like I just can't justify that for a fighting game. Like,
Absolutely
well, what?
not.
I think it's got a single player campaign too, but I've got Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, so what do I need that for? You know? Yeah, Naruto to Boruto, Shinobi Striker. Those are like just the reskinned fighting games.
Yeah. It's
I mean, they look great. They look great.
Yeah.
Ooh, Dead or Alive. Do you ever play Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball? Back in the day?
I'm ashamed to admit I have Beach Volleyball 1, Beach Volleyball 2, and then I also have Dead or Alive 3? Because I remember when Dead or Alive first came out on the Dreamcast,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that was huge. That was a moment in time.
It's amazing, though, how they release these fighting games and then they're like, hey, there's a few guys out there that really like the female characters.
Go figure.
So
It's
let's
almost
make
like they made them to be horny.
let's make beach volleyball.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they can be in scantily clad swimsuits. And it's like the era from where we went from pyramid, triangle, Tomb Raider
right
to Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball. We've come a long way.
We've
come a long way.
what's that song by the Star Trek Enterprise? It's been a long road.
It's been a long road getting from there to here. So, yeah, it's crazy. I've never owned any of the Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball games. I have played them. I've known people to own them, and I'm not judging. I mean, beach volleyball is actually kind of a fun game, but it just blew my mind that I'm like, wow, are people this thirsty?
Oh Lord, yes.
People are drilling wells into the DOA.
Listen, and Dragon or Dead or Alive was not being subtle about their thirst traps.
No, well, was it? Which character is Mai? She's Capcom, right?
Mai?
Or is she SNK?
She is SNK.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Where like literally her one of her like vocal tags that she does at the end of winning is like me bouncy.
I guess.
At least that's what it sounds like. I don't know. Maybe she's not actually saying that, but I remember that at the arcade out by Nate at Kingsway Mall. We were playing Capcom versus SNK, and people would choose Mai, and then she'd win, and she'd like me bouncy, and like literally jiggle physics was like the main thing.
She's from the Fatal Fury and King of Fighters series.
King of Fighters, yes. So
which is
SNK, yeah. So and Chun-Li, of course.
Chun-Li.
Yeah, everybody's a Chun-Li fan.
Listen, honestly, I always preferred Cammy.
Okay, yeah.
But Chun-Li.
Yeah. So I think that there's a lot of like really like there's like your Dragon Ball Fighter games, which are like fighter games. Like they're not. There's no fan service in those fighting games. And then there's the fan service fighting games.
Bulma would like a word.
Bulma's kind of out of the fan service racket. I don't think Bulma is she might be a playable character in Sparkling Zero. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something to find out for the near future, I'm sure. I will buy it this year for sure. I'm just going to wait. I wanted at least 10-15% off before I commit. So yeah, What are we thinking? Oh, Jujutsu Kaisen. Wow, $52 for that fighting game, which is probably just a reskin Naruto game.
Yeah, I mean, Bulma, Andrew 18. Granted,
Yeah, but there wasn't a
18.
lot of fan service in that. Like, there wasn't cleavage.
Yeah,
and there wasn't exposed.
Dragon Ball wasn't overly interested in that. It was
Dragon Ball
always about
Season 1. Dragon Ball, the first season, original Dragon Ball, had a lot of fan service.
Yeah, because he was raised by a pervert.
Yeah, and it was like steamy, the steam was covering them. And, Yamcha was peeking through the window, kind of sort of by accident with Bulma in the shower. Like, so Dragon Ball 1 was a little horny. Yeah, but Dragon Ball Z wasn't. Dragon Ball Z was like pure,
Dragon Ball
like...
Z was like fight.
Fight, masculine energy.
So much masculine. My God, they had muscles on their muscles.
Yeah, exactly.
It was horrifying.
And even Android 18 was respectfully dressed.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
What I loved about Android 18 is like you got all of these like super muscle bound super fighters, and she's like, "No, I'm gonna go with the one that's like normal."
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So
is he a good fighter? Sure. Like he's not a superhuman, but he's a good fighter, and more importantly, he's gonna be a good father.
He's gonna be a good father. Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't mind trying stick fight. I think that could be really good or really bad. I'm looking at Dead or Alive 5 last round core fighters. Oh my God. It's tagged as sexual content. I mean,
Which, Dead or Alive?
Dead or Alive 5.
Yeah.
What?
Have you not played Dead or Alive?
I haven't touched Dead or Alive in over 20 years.
It's the outfits that are what they're
really
tagging you on.
What?
Yeah, I mean, like, just click on one of those little pictures.
Come on, gaming world. When did we get this thirsty? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, she's very popular.
What do you mean, sure. When did we get this thirsty?
Oh, maybe they're all very popular.
When have we stopped being thirsty?
I didn't realize we've come this far that a fighting game has to have a sexual content MA18 tag on it.
I mean, the violence alone, right, should have a little bit of a more mature audience, but... Yeah.
Except this game's only single player, and I really want to find a multi... Well, I mean, I guess we could both play. I don't know. What do you think? Aaron?
What am I thinking? I'm thinking, because normally we do good game, bad game, right?
Yeah. We got to at least touch a bad game and a good game.
So I'm thinking today we play on that, and we do bad graphic, good graphic.
Okay, I like that.
And we'll do Stick Fighter, which is bad graphic.
Okay.
And we'll do Soul Calibur, which is gorgeous.
Okay, I think I can get behind that.
Yeah, you feeling like that one's a good option?
I think that's good.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, Stick Fighter, where'd you go? Stick Fight the game.
Yeah, I'm just looking at all the fighting games, and
there's a ton.
Oh, Dead or Alive 6 is tagged as esports.
Yeah. Oh no, the fighting community is huge.
Wow.
But Soul Calibur has fallen out a little bit in terms of the fighting community. It's not as popular as it was.
So if it's esports, it must be multiplayer.
Yeah.
It's a single player. Oh yeah, online PvP.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we could Soul Calibur or Dead or Alive 6.
Oh yeah, there's options. Okay, so with Soul Calibur, it's $8 for the base game, $20 for the deluxe edition with all the DLC.
Okay.
All right.
Soul Calibur.
Whereas Dead or Alive 6 is
about $11.69.
Okay, and now does that come with everything? Nice. No, it doesn't, because the base... Oh, okay, this is interesting. The base is free.
Oh.
Which is just the core fighters.
Okay.
The full game is $12. Or the digital deluxe edition is $15.
Okay.
And the digital deluxe edition is normally $103. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So it comes with everything in the digital deluxe version.
Well, you know what? Let's do Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur is a game that I actually have never played a Soul Calibur game. Well, it looks like, what the heck is that? Is that Yuna from Final Fantasy X?
No. In your character creation menu for Soul Calibur, you can make just about any character.
Okay. Well, I'm going to buy Soul Calibur 6. That's
base
the one, right?
Or deluxe?
I don't know. What does deluxe get you? I mean, if I'm going to command, right?
I think the deluxe gives you all the DLC. Yeah, so deluxe gives you Soul Calibur and the season pass, and the season pass is all the DLC.
Man, the DLC's got a lot of negative reviews. You know what? I'm just gonna go with the deluxe edition. It's $20.
It's got 2B.
I'm gonna do it.
I gotta have 2B's my girl.
Okay, I'm gonna do deluxe edition. Does it have 2B from Nier Automata?
And also, when the game was first developed, they were going to have Geralt of Rivia in it, so you can play as Geralt. He's a base character in SoulCal.
I like that.
Okay.
So we're buying Stick Fight the game.
Stick Fight the game and
Soul
SoulCal.
Calibur 6.
And I am installing now.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always loved the SoulCal series. It's one of my favorite series, so this will be fun.
I love it. I love it. And I love that we are doing like a double header.
Yeah, this will be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it.
I am excited about it,
In fact, I'm so excited about it, I would love another cup of tea.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Let's take a break and grab some more tea. And editing is great. So which game do you want to try first? Do you want to play Stick Fight or Soul Calibur?
You know what? Let's go from bad graphic to good graphic.
Let's do it.
And see how that feels.
Let's do it.
And then let's see about making this work.
All right, folks. We're going to take a little bit of time here to play some games, and we'll be right back with our findings.
With our findings.
See you on the flip side.
See you on the flip.
Oh, KO'd.
KO. Well, here we are.
We did it.
We did it.
We came, we saw, we conquered, we played with controllers.
We play with controllers. We're big boys now.
Right.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna have to go dig out one of my old controllers, and I think I'm gonna play through some SoulCal.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
That's good.
Genuinely had fun.
That was definitely good.
All right. Hey, I guess we're back.
We're back.
We're back. So we went through and played fighting games, and on a little twist, we decided to do good graphic, bad graphic for fighting games. Because normally we do like good game, bad game. And it's always fun to kind of experiment with the format that we've chosen to engage in.
Yeah, and let's face it, the fighter genre is best played multiplayer.
Absolutely.
It's kind of a lonely thing to play a fighter game solo.
Yeah, and some games have like single player campaigns and
or as I like to call it, training.
Yeah, very much training, but here we are.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk Stick Fighter first.
Let's talk Stick Fighter.
That was the first one we did.
All right, what did you think of Stick Fight?
I had an absolute blast.
Yeah.
The physics was kind of ragdoll-y jelly physics. So
hyper jank.
So it was very hard to control in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
But God, it was pure chaos and just so much fun.
Yeah, it's incredibly chaotic. You know, you're like basically in these levels, and each level's maybe 15, 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds long at most. Yeah. And there's environmental things that can kill you, and other players can kill you. And aiming is almost impossible because you have to run with the left Joy-Con and aim with the right Joy-Con, but the trigger button is it's so yeah. It was something else.
Oh, it was so much fun though.
Yeah, it was something else.
God, I had an absolute blast. I don't think I've laughed that hard in a while.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So, Stick Fight. Let's pull up the Stick Fight store page.
Yeah, let's pull it up.
So the Stick Fight store page. This was originally released in September 28th, 2017.
Okay.
It's from developer Landfall West and publisher Landfall.
Okay.
What do we know about Landfall?
What do we know about Landfall? Other than
they did Content Warning, which I just recently bought as well.
Oh, there you go.
But I haven't tried yet.
I was about to say Landfall is a commander deck or a playstyle deck in Magic the Gathering, and I hate Landfall players, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
Well, they also did Totally Accurate Battlegrounds.
Yeah, what is Totally Accurate Battlegrounds? It looks like
it's not totally accurate at all.
It looks like a super goofy PUBG.
It's absolutely a total goofball PUBG game.
So this developer basically makes goofy games.
It looks like
Cluster Truck is a game.
Amazing.
It's like an automobile simulator where you're just like, hey, it's a cluster truck. There's a cluster of trucks, chaotic physics, truck former. What the heck? Okay, I'm gonna add that to my wish list. I want to try that out. So yeah, these Landfall guys, they've just done a lot of goofy games, and I'm off kilter. Stick Fight is described as a physics-based couch online fighting game where you battle it out. as the iconic stick figures from the golden age of the internet. Remember stickdeath.com?
I remember Stick Death. What was that other one that was Stick RPG?
Stick RPG, yeah. And so it talks about 2 to 4 players in local or online mode. Physics-based combat system, which, I mean, it's ragdoll for sure.
Yeah.
100 different highly interactive levels. And we played for about half an hour.
About, yeah.
And I think I got the achievement for playing all of the levels.
Winning on one level of every stage. So
Yeah,
I guess there's
yeah.
each world has quite a few levels in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. There's a lot of really fun, goofy little achievements. There's over 100,000 community-made levels that we didn't even delve into.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Tons of random weapons, spears, guns, turrets, snake cannons.
God, the snake.
Snake cannons.
A snake shotgun.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The snake mine launcher.
Yeah, actually, the shotgun, I ended up shooting it just from the kickback. I knocked myself off the cliff and died several times.
Yeah.
It's super chaotic. It reminds me a lot of remember the old Worms games?
Oh
Worms
God,
Armageddon?
right? Yeah.
It reminds me of that, but it's instead of being turn-based, it's like live.
It's live.
And
Yeah,
you just go hard.
Just go.
And it's chaotic.
It's so chaotic.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
Yeah, it was good.
I legitimately had a blast.
So what do you think about the graphics?
So the graphics were extremely simple, right? It was just stick figures and flat 2D models.
Mm-hmm.
What surprised me, however...
And the models in Soul Calibur were not flat.
No, we'll talk about that in a second. But what surprised me the most about Stick was how, I guess, in-depth the physics engine was.
Yeah.
Things moved. There was gravity. There were physic dangers. Like there was spiked balls on chains that would swing across the map.
Yeah.
There were laser platforms that, if you put weight on, it would cause the laser to swing.
Yeah.
And the ice platforms you could shoot out with weapons. So it was really interesting to see that.
Yeah.
Even though, again, the graphics were the most rudimentary you could get, and still consider yourself a next gen game.
Yeah, it was like stick fighters and
100%.
and monotone textures for the most part.
Yeah.
There were they did some very interesting things with it though. I think it being 2D with like a quasi 3D physics interaction kind of thing going. I don't know, it was really cool. I really appreciate what they did with it.
Cool.
So if you had to rate graphics out of 10.
Well, it's only going to be a 4, right?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't anything special, but what it did very, very well.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to see maybe more color palettes. I would have liked to see a little more feedback, because it's very hard to tell when your character's doing something it's very hard to tell when your character is hit.
Yeah.
Right? You can kind of see the indicators that you're punching, you're jumping.
There's no health bars or anything like that.
It's a little harder to tell when your character's taking damage.
Yeah, the UI is kind of lacking as well.
Yeah, which I think is by design.
Yeah.
They want a very bare bones approach.
Yeah.
But there could have been a little better indication on your character's overall state.
Yeah, I would have liked to see some health indicators. Personally, I love the chaos of the game, and I would have liked to have seen, especially in the multiplayer, much larger levels, with much more variety in the in using the environment to kill your opponent.
Yeah.
And more weapon variety. I think this game's because chaos and craziness, you can do a lot with a game like this, where you can create a lot of very interesting ways to kill your opponent.
Oh, absolutely.
For example, there should be Kamehameha waves. I mean, like, why not have energy blasts? Why not have summon, like, pick up a car and toss a car at a guy environmentally, right? Like, I think the grappling would have been really fun. Grapple them, and a successful grapple, you can pick them up and toss them into the spikes. There's a lot you can do, because the game you could really just kind of punch and kick and shoot.
Yeah, and shoot your gun, and it was a little hard to aim, which, again, a lot of that I feel is by, like, they designed it that way, but yeah, there could have been better moments.
But the art style was extremely basic.
Oh, extremely basic.
Yeah. But in a coherent way.
Yeah, and it communicated what you needed to know. Ice platforms looked icy. Temporary platforms looked temporary. Like, it was good enough. I just would have liked to see some refinement.
Was there any music?
Yes, there was.
I didn't hear any music.
Oh, it was like battle track stuff. Like,
was it? I was so into the fighting and like the button mashing.
Oh, yeah. No, the music wise, like, they weren't doing it.
Yeah, we hooked up Nintendo Switch Pro controllers. And
Yeah.
I've actually never, since Rocket League was the only game I used my PS3 controllers on.
Oh.
You got to do a lot of janky Bluetooth stuff to get PS3 controllers to work. But yeah, the Nintendo Switch Pro controllers, they just kind of worked. It was great.
It was nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we were my end was a little shaky, but once we went through sort of a back door, everything worked out.
Yeah. Which we'll also talk about in Soul Calibur.
Listen, Voldo is a legitimate character.
So, music and audio out of 10.
Music-wise, wasn't doing anything special. Like I said, it was just basic battle track stuff, like fast-paced, sort of electronic music. It was fine, right? It fit the genre. It wasn't doing anything. It didn't detract from it. But at the same time, you, for example, don't even remember listening.
I don't even remember hearing it.
Yeah. So, to that point, I'm going to go ahead and say 5.
5? Okay.
You know, it did exactly what it needed to do. It wasn't doing anything amazing, but it wasn't bad either.
Yeah, I think there could have been more sound effects. I think that there's some of the weapons, like the snake weapons and stuff, it would have been great to have some, like, even just some hissing or something.
I mean, every time you shot, it was the same sound. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, boom, 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 boom. Right. It was always the same sound, yeah. Although, I got to tell you, some of the guns, like the automated super guns.
Whatever that thing was, it was like a miniaturized Gatling gun. It was just like...
Yeah, some of the guns were pretty cool.
They were, yeah. It was a fun game, and I want to make sure everyone understands that it was fun. If you have a couple friends in 20 minutes, there you go.
2 to 4 people online multiplayer is pretty good. I can see that being good for like ladder tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, or just like if you're at a LAN party and it's like, hey, what are we playing or something, and everyone's like, well, I want to play this game, and the one guy's like, well, I don't have that installed yet. It'd be like, well, we're waiting for that to install. Let's have a couple quick rounds of Stick Fighter.
Exactly. So gameplay. Talk to me about gameplay.
So on the surface, extremely simplistic, right? There's a jump, there's a punch, there's a kick, and then there's once you can run across weapons and pick them up and away you go, right? Nothing amazing, nothing breaking the bank here, but oh God, is it fun? It's sheer chaos. There's the physics itself lends to jank, and in this case, instead of the jank being bad, they've harnessed the jank.
Oh, yeah.
They're using the jank.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the Matrix, when the code starts to compile, and they're like, what's he doing? He's starting to believe.
Yeah.
Like,
He's starting to believe.
That moment every time when you're playing Stick Fighter.
Yeah.
So it was a joy to play. I'm gonna have to give it, as far as gameplay goes.
Yeah.
It was solid execution. They weren't trying to reinvent anything. They used the physics engine. They used what they had to its full potential. So that's gonna give it a 7.
7. I like it. What did you think of the longevity of the game? Like how much time do you think you could play that game before you're kind of like,
Like I said, it was a lot of fun for our little 20-30 minute adventure.
Yeah.
And I could pick it up again for 20-30 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be like a Soul Calibur where I'm sitting there trying to spending hours practicing and mastering, right? It's not like a RPG where it's like you grind. It is a 20-30 minute block and then you're done. Then, down the road, like I said, you're waiting on a friend or something. It's like, hey, while we're waiting, let's get a couple rounds of Stick Fight in.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's there. It's so easy to just play.
I totally agree. And the gameplay, it was really fun. I think the same thing. Like maybe 30 to 60 minute sessions, just to kind of have a little fun and then put it away for a while and come back to it maybe every couple months and play it and just goof around when you're just looking for something to kill some time.
Yeah, I can 100% see it in the LAN party situation where it's like, oh, Trevor hasn't installed the latest patch. We got to wait for him to install that patch. And be like, well, what are we going to do while we wait? Because we can't start the game.
And the game was installed in like 30 seconds. It was so small.
Oh, God, yeah. It was
small.
A tiny little game. So, like, while we're waiting for something to be resolved or somebody to get there or something, there's Stick Fight. Boom.
Yeah.
Done.
I agree. So, yeah, I mean, we were choosing between Dead or Alive or Soul Calibur.
Right, yeah.
Right. And then we chose Stick Fight for the graphics because the graphics were pretty low.
Yeah.
But did you have fun?
God, did I have fun.
Yeah.
So easy 9 out of 10 for me.
9 out of 10.
And the only reason it's not a 10 out of 10 game is that longevity question, right?
Yeah.
Because, again, it's 20-30 minutes, and then it's anything longer, and I think would overstay its welcome.
Yeah, I agree. So your average is 6.3.
Okay, that's pretty good for a game for $2.
Would you put this in the catapult or the fault category?
It's in the catapult, but with a caveat. There is no single player. So if you're going to play this, you have to have friends, which is a big ask for a lot of gamers.
Yeah, I don't think single player is really going to be all that great.
Yeah.
I don't know if it even has single player.
It doesn't. It's multiplayer only.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a catapult. It's a caveat catapult.
I mean, dude, we gave Life on Pizza a catapult for some reason.
Did we really?
Yeah, I don't understand why we did, to be honest.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a catapult.
I got to go back. When I'm editing that episode later, I'm going to be like, why did we give that a catapult? We're going to have to figure out.
Like,
I don't remember it being fun.
I don't.
I mean, it was fun, but it was
bad.
It was so bad.
So bad. It was free.
I hope I did that by accident.
So maybe it was because it was free it got catapulted?
Maybe. So you're going to be catapult stick fight.
Oh, I'm absolutely catapulting stick fight. But again, it has a very specific place. It has a very specific purpose, right?
Yeah, I agree. So stick fight, we've got graphics and art. I'm gonna mostly agree with your ratings. Graphics and art, I'm gonna have to give it like a 2, maybe a 3. It didn't really try. Like, I mean, there's more it could have done environmentally. I think it was okay, but it was clearly like there's no real art style to it.
Yeah.
I think you could have created all the assets for this game in an afternoon, maybe in 1 day or 2 days.
Yeah.
Once you got the style figured out.
Yeah, baby's first Unity game.
Music and audio, the audio was okay. I think it was good enough. I'll give it a 5. Gameplay, yeah, I really loved the variety of weapons. I think there could have been more.
That black hole gun was wicked, though.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, the black hole gun we only saw once, which is kind of unfortunate. The only thing that kind of bugged me about the gameplay a little bit was it was too fast. The levels were too short. It was kind of like super chaotic, and I feel like maybe that was intentional. And I'd have to really wonder what it would be like to play the game if the levels took a little longer. You had a health bar, you had a little more to overcome, or some NPC characters to fight or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think overall the gameplay was it was okay. I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10 just because I feel like it could have done so much more for what it is.
That's fair. I can get behind that.
If I look at the purchase price of that game,
which is what, $243?
right. Well, so right now it's $2.59. So $6.49 is the full price. It's 60% off, so $2.59. I think for the price, it is a fun, goofy little game. I try to live on the dollar per hour. Kind of, if I can get an hour for every dollar spent in the game, I think it's worth the game.
Right.
So again, if a Final Fantasy game is $100 and I got 100 hours out of it, I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
So I think, I am taking that into account in these ratings to kind of go, well, it is a cheaper game. We got about 30 minutes out of it. Maybe we would have gotten an hour or 2 out of it. I think you can get your dollar's worth for $2.49.
Yeah.
I think people are silly to sell their games for less than $5 US. Even if it is a simple basic game, I think $5 US is kind of the baseline of what you should sell your game for, as long as it's something that is playable.
I'm a Toonie Tuesday kind of guy.
Yeah, and I like the Toonie, like the $2.69. That's pretty good. Nice.
But
I had fun too. Yeah, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 for fun. I think that overall it is a fun game. It was a hoot. My average is 5.9. Your average is 6.3. So we're not far off. I'm being a little bit more picky, I guess. Maybe.
Do we need to make a third category where it's just like left to the sidelines?
Left to the sidelines, yeah, right.
Because it's not some games. It's not worth throwing into the vaults, right?
Here's the thing: if you've got kids,
they'll love this game.
If you've got kids, or you just are nostalgic for the Stick Fighter days and the StickDeath.com days, this is fun. I mean, I've always thought about the StickDeath.com days of if I was to make a Stick Death fighting game, it would be more like Soul Calibur. It would be still 2D, but you would have legitimate animations and fighting moves and techniques and finishing moves and different ways to finish them and like impaling them or beheading them or
Oof,
right
monster.
I mean, Stick Death, you can go hard, right? So I think there's a lot that can be done in the stick genre. I don't know.
Stick genre.
Stick-like.
The stick-like simulators.
Let's make those games called stick-like on Steam.
Done. They're stick-like.
I'm going to tag this game as stick-like. So it is a catapult. I think go play it, have some fun, play some stick fight. It's on sale right now, 60% off. Sale's probably done by the time this airs, but it's like $6.49.
Yeah, and
it's not bad.
Again, our caveat here is just make sure you have someone to play with
and have a controller. It's a controller.
100% is a controller game.
I think any fighter game you gotta have a controller.
Gotta have a controller.
Gotta have it.
Gotta have it. All right, which brings us to Soul Calibur.
It's the most horniest game of the year.
It is not. Dead or Alive has it beat by a lot.
Does it though?
It does. There's no world where Soul Calibur is hornier than Dead or Alive.
I mean, I don't know. Dead or Alive, Soul Calibur's really trying. They're really trying. Yeah. But,
there's some moments where I was like, why is destroying clothes part of it? Like,
yeah, it was weird. We're fighting and it's like, oh, your jacket's missing.
Yeah, I was like, when
did that happen?
Then you blew off my pants.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
I was like, dang.
It's weird. I was a little bit concerned as to why the clothing was falling off while we were fighting. Now there's no gratuitous nudity or anything like that.
Not
Just
at all.
a lot of skimpy outfits, which I guess is kind of par for the course for these kinds of games nowadays.
Yeah, fighting games have always. I mean, even back in the Street Fighter.
Oh, Street Fighter 2. I mean, it was still
Golden
like
Axe era. There was always some
2D
cheesecake.
jiggle physics.
Yeah,
like
there was
what?
always some cheesecake.
They always put a little cheese into there. Yeah. So I'm not complaining about it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's very obvious.
Yeah, we see it.
It's very obvious. So Soul Calibur 6, it's the 6th entry into the Soul Calibur series.
Yeah. Someone made the Wendy's girl.
Oh no.
Oh, that's hilarious. I love it.
So tell me about Soul Calibur.
So Soul Calibur is a fairly old series. It's kind of a legacy series in the fighting genre. It started off with Soul's Edge in the arcades, and this was in the era of Virtua Fighter, Tekken Tag, like some of the very first fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
And then Soul Calibur made its way over to the Dreamcast and the PlayStation 2 and there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always been a game. Street Fighter was always about the combat, right? The punch kick.
Yeah.
Soul Calibur tried to differentiate itself by focusing on the weapons and the weapon combat and that sort of style, right? And it succeeded in places. It's failed in places. Soul Calibur 3 and 4 are, legends in the fighting community. I don't remember 5.
Yeah.
And 6 was their last big entry. I want to say it was 2013, 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Is it that old? No.
So Soul Calibur 6 is October 18th, 2018.
Okay, thank God. All right.
Developer Bandai Namco.
Yeah, Bandai Namco.
Which is the same developer that does all the Dragon Ball, Sparkling Zeros, and all those fighting games.
Yeah, Bandai Namco does a lot of the fighting games.
Yeah,
so.
They're kind of the fighting game aficionado, as it were. Supreme fighter. So yeah, it's Soul Calibur 6, bring more than your fists to the fight.
Yeah.
Featuring an all new battle mechanics and characters, Soul Calibur 6 marks a new era of the historic franchise. Welcome back to the stage of history. And Soul Calibur 6 touts all new battle mechanics, block your opponent's assaults, counterattack, soul charge, temporary power-ups to turn the tide of battle, and wield lethal hits. There's a huge assortment of single-player modes, so there's a story mode and all that jazz.
Yep.
And there's a huge online mode. You can do your own character creation.
Oh yeah, no, the online mode is massive.
I feel like I have to read this a very particular way.
Oh.
Create your own character to suit your tastes.
Oh.
In creation mode. I feel like I have to read it that way because creation mode it's something else.
It can get horny.
It can get horny. Yeah, it's something else.
It's not as bad as I don't know if you've ever looked into Black Desert Online.
Oh yes, Black Desert Online is actually quite popular on Steam.
It's arguably it's a good game, but you want to talk about horny character creator engines? Like there you go.
I did buy Black Desert Online back in the day. I've only played for 13.8 hours. I did not find it fun.
Well, it's an MMO, and if you're not an MMO player, right?
Yeah. But yeah, so Soul Calibur 6, man. It was a lot of fun.
It was
a lot of fun. Talk to me about.
I love the Soul Cals.
It was done in Unreal Engine 4.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me about the graphics.
Well, I feel like you need to start because I did the last one.
I'm happy to start. Thank you.
Start. Tell me.
I mean, the graphics are delightful. The animation sequences are great.
So smooth.
The way the camera moves around when you're fighting, and like someone initiates a power move, and you can see it kind of goes to slow motion. You see the power move is coming, and if you hit block at just the right time, you can see your character kind of getting out of the way. And there's a lot of really cool animation and camera tricks, and the lighting is good, and the special attacks are good, and the like everything looks pretty good. I'd say like the clothing itself is pretty rigid. It doesn't have a lot of physics to it.
No, it doesn't. But they invested their physics elsewhere.
They invested their physics elsewhere. Yes, there are jiggle physics for sure.
Oh Lord, yeah.
But there's a good mix between male and female characters in the game, and potentially somewhere in between. And there's there's the character creator, which is really nice. The graphics are just so good. The backgrounds look good. The different stages that you fight in, everything is really well artistically created. You've got Geralt from
The Witcher series.
The Witcher, and he looks like the Witcher 3 version.
Yeah, and which is arguably my favorite Geralt.
Yeah, he's very slow though, very slow old man. But the graphics are great. They put a ton of effort into it. They got Nier Automata 2B from Nier on there. Automata.
Yeah, we got there.
And so the graphics are delightful, man. I mean, they put a ton of effort, and this is 2018 as well. So if they were to redo this in like Unreal Engine 5, I mean, we'd have.
No, we're on UE6 now, don't we?
Yeah, but this is the last Soul Calibur entry. There hasn't been a 7.
No, 6 did not perform as well as they would have liked. I mean, it wasn't a bomb, but it didn't make big money. So I don't think Bandai Namco is going to be making another Soul Calibur for a minute or two.
I just don't see Soul Calibur really being like it doesn't have a cult following like Dragon Ball does so well because it has a cult following.
Yeah, it has a baked in audience.
If they want Soul Calibur to do well, they need a Soul Calibur animated TV series or something.
The anime would make them
like Soul Calibur the anime. Like they need something to nowadays. It's not enough to just have a good fighting game.
You gotta have your tie-in.
You've got to have your tie-in, and it sucks, but it's just the way it is.
Yeah,
like Naruto fighting games should technically not have made any money, but because they were a tie-in to such a popular anime, they sell like hotcakes. Yeah.
My biggest issue is the Naruto fighting game, the Bleach fighting game, and the One Piece fighting game are all the same fighting game.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. Yeah. So graphics and art. I think that they put a lot of effort into the character designs and the costume designs and the backgrounds and everything. The environment's great. I have to give this like probably at least like an 8.5 out of 10. The clothing was a little bit like you can tell it's from 2018 because the way they modeled the clothing didn't really lend it well. Like shirts would like hang over top and be rigid instead of flowing.
And there was some clipping.
There was some clipping. Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't notice it typically, but we're sitting here to kind of give our 2 cents.
Yeah, and we're trying to be a little more not nitpicky, but this is what we're trying to do, and we need to pay attention to everything.
The art did get a little bit on the aggressive sexualization of the characters.
Yes.
Which I mean, let's face it, this game is Bandai.
It's Bandai.
And Bandai does wholesome things like Dragon Ball, but they also are nobody understands selling sex like the Japanese. Look at all the games. Look at like Tifa, and look at the way they design characters.
What's really funny to me is in that era, Tifa and Lara Croft weren't originally designed to be like these super busty characters.
Yeah.
The problem is because they were limited to polygons.
Yeah.
And
that's kind of what happened.
It was either have a chest or have no chest.
Right? Yeah.
So you had Aerith, who was almost an A-line.
Yeah.
And then you had Tifa.
Yeah.
And the idea was Tifa was always going to have a bit.
Yeah.
But the polygons can either do a lot or none.
Yeah.
Those are hard
Yeah,
options.
yeah. It's hard. It's hard when you have like very limited amounts of polygons you can work with.
Yeah.
But they have no excuse nowadays.
No, none.
I mean, it's got any game that has a chest slider for your character creation. You know that they just kind of went,
They're gonna add it.
we're gonna throw
anyway.
this in because
Yeah.
we just feel like people should be able to do whatever they want with their
Should be
character
an
creation.
option, yeah.
And you know what? Here's the thing. I love extremely intricate character creation.
Yeah.
The Sims, for example.
Give me a I believe that I should have a slider. I should be able to do a lot of customization.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with representation. Like,
It does.
Not every person has the same body.
No.
So
There's-
being able to do that is important.
Yeah, there's
But
people from like 2 foot 8 inches to like
Yeah.
7 foot, 8 foot, 9. So
I
yeah.
don't know if we get up to 9 foot.
I don't think we get up to 9, but there's some 8 foot tall
There's some
people out there.
8-footers out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. If one of them plays.
So yeah, it's
basketball.
good. You're right. Having that.
But I will agree that the sliders have been used for less than noble pursuits.
Yeah, far less than noble pursuits. Yeah, and some of the sliders didn't really do much. Like I played with each one of the sliders to kind of get a good feel for the character creation because I greatly appreciate being able to create my own character in whatever game I'm
Absolutely.
playing.
Absolutely. It's one of the first things I look for.
The waist slider from max to small really didn't do anything.
Nope.
The thigh slider did a lot. Right?
Yeah, it did.
The hip slider didn't really do much. So like some of the sliders seem to be there just to be there. They weren't really affecting a whole lot. At least not that I could tell from what the screen was rendering. But the cool thing that I thought was nice in the character creation was that you had your height, your size had an impact.
It directly impacted the gameplay.
Yeah, on your gameplay.
Yeah.
So if you were bigger, you were slower and your animations were different. There were limits in your attack types.
Yeah.
If you were shorter, same kind of thing. So I thought that was kind of an interesting take.
Yeah, and there's probably a meta where it's like you make them super big and then use a super fast weapon, right?
Yeah.
Or super small and use a super slow weapon or something.
Yeah.
Oh, pardon me again. Sorry.
All good.
Ooh,
So I thought the graphics and art was great. That's why I'm gonna land on 8.5.
8.5 is a really solid choice, especially for a 2018 game.
I agree. Music and audio, yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was just really good fighting music, really good animation, really good kind of like goading on, like
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna get you, and it was just like
yeah.
the goading was really fun. Yeah, the voice changing that you could do in the character creation was like there were like 5 or 6 different levels
you
you
could do
adjust.
pitch, speed. You could add like corruption, which in this case was just distortion.
Yeah, like
Yeah, so it was cool.
Yeah.
It
was
added.
cool. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10 for music and audio, just
There you
because
go, there you go.
it's a little better than what I would have expected for just a fighter genre.
Yeah.
And I think like the audio design was really nice. The clashing, the blocking, the hitting, the smooshing, the crunching, all very, very good for a fighting game. Like you go back to like Capcom versus SNK, where it's like yeah, and it's like okay, well, yeah, and you just had like one thud sound,
Yeah.
right? And so yeah, music and audio has come a long way, but it is a fighter game, so you don't have this opportunity for like some RPGs where you get like the big symphony, or you get like the really kind of like intense music, or it's a fighting game, right?
It's a fighting game. It's a fun fighting game, but it is a fighting game.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I would say that its music and audio is quite refined for a fighting game. Gameplay, yeah, it's a great fighter. I really, really appreciate the animation sequences. I kind of think it's one of the things that I enjoyed the most about the game is also something I have the biggest critique of.
Okay.
Which is I really enjoyed the fact that you hit like your power bar, it powers up to like 2, and you can use a special attack. But your special attack is initiated by just pressing one button, like R2 or R1 or whatever. And that was cool because you could initiate an attack. It could be potentially blocked depending on the timing, or you had to land the attack in order to have the combo continue. I thought the animation sequences of those power moves were really amazing, but I also didn't like the fact that it was one button push. I like if you go back to Mortal Kombat days, when it's like finish him and you have to hit like 22 different button combo to get a finishing move in, and you've got like 15 seconds to enter it. I kind of hated that too, but at the same time, doing a button sequence to initiate a combo is what makes a fighting game strategic to me, as opposed to hitting a single button. Now, there's still a lot of strategy involved in that. I'll give it that, because you've got to time when you hit the button. You've got to be in line. You've got to connect, right? So that's the only gripe I have in the gameplay. Otherwise, the fighting is great. It's beautiful. The different weapon types, the different attack types, some are more close up, some are more ranged. There's definitely some characters that would be really great at fighting other characters. You chose the really fast character.
Oh, yeah, Talum in when you were picking Geralt.
Yeah, Talum versus Geralt. Well, Geralt of Rivia, he's big, and he's burly, and he's slow. So it was really hard to keep up. And I didn't know his moveset. But even button mashing, it was like, oh, I can't get Geralt to do anything. He's old and he's slow and he's tired.
You had that one vicious combo, though.
I think that was just the R2 button, though.
Was it? Because you went off. You had like 17 attacks.
Yeah, I think I hit a few good combo moves, then I hit R2, and then it kind of continued.
Yeah.
So gameplay, I'm going to give an 8 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as a fighter. I think it's, again, what really did it for me was the seamless animation and the movement sequences and the flow of the fight. It just felt choreographed. Like the actual fighting in the fighting game felt choreographed. There's so many different things where they choose camera angles and this and that and the other thing. There were a lot of times where I kind of joked that I think the camera has like a locking mechanism on the chest of the female characters.
That was specifically for the Dead or Alive. I remember this conversation.
Yeah, probably. I feel like Soul Calibur definitely doesn't do the focal point, which is good.
Yeah. I mean, again, it has fan service.
It does.
I'm not going to sit here.
There's definitely fan service involved, and it doesn't detract from the fact that it's a beautifully made game that is really fun to play. With the exception that I wouldn't let my kids play it if I had kids. I think that
I think
it's like 16 and up. I think
that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a little hypersexualized.
But in the same breath, I wouldn't let a kid play a fighting game.
Oh,
anyway.
like I wouldn't care. Street Fighter 2, I'd be like, here, go nuts, have fun.
I'd wait until they're at least 12.
Yeah, 12 and up. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, like if they're 8, they're not playing Call of Duty and
no, Lord no.
And I mean, hey, parent your kids however you want to.
Yeah, well, and at
judge.
the end of the day, it's your kids. You do your job, but personally, I wouldn't.
So fun, 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed Soul Calibur. I think it was a really good example of what a fighting game should be.
I had a blast playing with you. It was a lot of fun.
So it's an 8.3, and I'm going to throw it in the catapult category. Especially because it was like $20 for the game, plus all the DLC.
Right now it's $20 on sale. So
majority of the DLC was downvoted on Steam because it was just like character creation.
Yeah,
skins
a large
outfits.
amount of their DLC is unfortunately just cosmetics. They added, I want to say, 2 characters, 2B. From the Nier Automata series was added, and then I think there was another character that was added.
It actually was rated T for teen by the ESRB.
That makes sense.
Blood, mild language, partial nudity, and violence. I don't get the partial nudity, but I kind of do.
It's
a little gratuitous.
Yeah,
in some cases,
bikinis and underwear fighting. So.
Yeah.
Again, it's not Dead or Alive.
I'm gonna do something I'm gonna regret.
Oh, you're gonna what?
I'm gonna go and see. Is there
workshop?
There's no workshop for this, is there? Thank God. I mean,
go on Reddit and you can find a million and one different people going, "Here's my character creation. Here's my character created."
There's a huge mod manager that you can download for it.
Oh no. Well, we all know what the mods are going to be. So
this is when you get into the darker side of the internet, and they're like, "Hey, here's some sites with mods."
Now, some mods are like, they add interesting things, like they increase difficulty, or they change a certain weapon, and then there's like, oh, look at this, all boob all the time.
Yeah. I went to one of the pages with the mods, and it's just gratuitous.
Oh, Game Banana. Yeah.
Yeah.
I use these guys. They have a really good mod for Persona 5. It re-adds the female protagonist.
Yeah, I think
but
no, it's clipping.
It's clipping.
Oh, it's so bad.
No.
I'll leave it at it's clipping.
It's clipping.
And we'll leave it at that.
What's clipping? Yeah. There's
I needed to find out because Steam would definitely not have a modding community for this. The modding communities are very thirsty.
Yeah, we've had this talk. Actually, if you go on our Discord, we posted a fun article where the creator of Final Fantasy VII politely asked the fan base not to make thirst mods.
Yeah, which means they're going to do it even more.
Yeah, now they're going to do it even harder.
They have a Kermit the Frog mod.
What?
Hi ho there, Kermit the Frog here.
Hello.
I'm going to play Soul Calibur today. Yeah,
guess what? I'm going to destroy your face.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you know, that was a cool game. I would throw that.
Enjoyed it.
I'll throw that into the catapult.
Brong.
And let's buzz through your ratings. What do you want? What do you want to add?
Well, in terms of additions, one thing that really impressed me with Soul Calibur was just the color palette. I am tired of games being shades of brown. I'm looking specifically at you, Elden Ring. I'm tired of it, and we should not have to accept it. We deserve better. And Soul Calibur was not shades of brown. Soul Calibur was vibrant and green, and the characters popped. It was really cool.
One thing Japanese games do very, very well is incorporate a lot of color and really phenomenal art.
Elden Ring notwithstanding. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and give that about what, an 8? Yeah, an 8. An 8 on the graphics.
I like it.
Yeah, because like you said, there were some clipping issues on some of the clothing, and that I think was a limitation of the engine at the time.
Yeah, I agree.
And let's talk about music and audio. Yeah, great music, great audio. One thing you didn't mention that I always really am impressed by was audio feedback.
Oh yeah.
Like when you hit somebody, you heard their oomph and the hit.
Yeah.
When you swung your weapon, there was a little of the blade cutting through the air.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Audio feedback to me is super important because it helps put you deeper into the game.
Yeah, like it was so seamless that you kind of don't even notice it unless you're really listening.
Yeah, unless you're paying attention.
Because
right?
it just felt right. Like it was so smooth.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I've been that way since Doom 2 and the Super Shotgun.
Oh yeah.
Because, like with the Super Shotgun, if I played Doom 2 recently on a GZ Doom, and the patch I was playing on, they mistimed it. So the shotgun would go off, you would see the reload, clunk.
Yeah.
So the reload sound and the reload action was off.
Yeah.
And it pissed me off so much, guys. I was so mad.
Yeah.
So audio feedback, super important to me. They nailed it.
Well,
this is an 8.5.
I like it. I like it. That's a very good appreciation point.
And as for gameplay, I really liked it. I'm an old hand for Soul Calibur, so I know a little bit more about this series, specifically the single player campaign, which is really fun, and you follow a storyline. But more importantly is the Tales bit, where you take a custom character and you move them through like this sort of roguelike game.
Yeah.
And that is so much fun for me. I love it to death. And yeah, everything Trevor said is true. It's the fighting is smooth. The transitions are so seamless. Like one thing he didn't mention, but we both appreciated, was there was this moment where I was initiating a power attack and time slows down. And like Trevor said, if you time it right on the other end, you can block it. But the animation was his character sidestepped my character.
Yeah.
And it looked so Hollywood. It was so cool.
Yeah. The production value of those, I mean, call it like a little mini cutscene because you kind of almost aren't in control anymore at that point. Yeah. But it doesn't feel that way. It feels so good. And it looks so good.
Feels slow-mo. Like you just hit John Woo bullet time.
Yeah.
Which means that for gameplay, I'm going to go ahead and give this a solid 8.
8, nice.
I had a great time.
I like it.
And fun for me is always, like Trevor was saying, the $1 per hour and all that. And I have paid $60 for Soul Calibur games and had a blast.
Yeah.
So the fact that it was $20 just makes it even better for me.
Yeah.
So this is a 9 for fun.
I love it.
Absolutely. Put it in the catapult. Let's go.
So your overall rating is 8.4.
Hey, and just for funsies, let's talk about the comparative graphics. So like we had Soul Cal, we had Stick Fighter, and the graphics was kind of where we were focusing today.
Yeah, I have to say I had a lot more fun playing Soul Calibur because the graphics were so beautiful.
Perfect, yeah. And for me, I think taking away the complexity of it, the graphics in Soul Calibur conveyed a world better.
Yeah.
Right. I was playing Soul Calibur, whereas with Stick Fighter was like, okay, Stick Fighter's here.
Yeah, it was just, and in Stick Fighter, it was just kind of like a fun little, I'm mashing the buttons, I'm just goofing around. Whereas Soul Calibur, I actually felt like, okay, I want to do this justice, you know?
Yeah. I want to see how cool this movie is going to look.
I think that's more of the in-depth gameplay, and
yeah,
when you talk about gameplay, inevitably, like we both put 9 for fun for both Soul Calibur and Stick Fight.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, why do I feel like I had more fun overall with Soul Calibur? And it's because overall, the every piece that adds towards playing the game, the audio, the graphics, the art, the seamless things, the camera movements, it all goes into that general feeling. And we both gave gameplay a higher rating than Stick Fight, for sure.
We absolutely did.
And I feel like, yeah, like I feel with Stick Fight, it was like, yeah, it was fun, I enjoyed it, but I dare say that playing Soul Calibur, I kind of felt a lot more emotion playing the game.
Absolutely. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So thank you all. Like we tried a different way of our format, which is good bad, and we looked at good bad graphics today.
Yeah, whenever there's like games that are better suited to multiplayer, it's just more fun if we can kind of both play together and have a little bit of fun, like RTSs and stuff.
Yeah, RTSs, fighter games.
Yeah.
You know, and as we evolve and as the format evolves, like we're gonna do some fun. We're gonna try new things.
Yeah,
and we hope that you guys give us some feedback and let us know what you think about it.
Exactly. Yeah, so thanks for coming along for the ride.
Absolutely.
If you have played Soul Calibur and you didn't buy Soul Calibur 6 and it's on sale right now, hopefully it's good value for you. But I highly recommend it. And Stick Fight, if you're just looking for some silly little fun.
Stupid little, like 20 minutes, here you go. Yeah. Absolutely. Hop on our Discord. Let us know what your fighting games were. Because, like I said, I was a Soul Calibur kid, but Street Fighter is arguably even bigger.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's all the little weird ones that people are like, I don't really play this anymore, like Tekken or Virtua Fighter or all those guys, right?
Yeah.
Fatal Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah, so pop on. Let us know. Our Discord is available through our Patreon. It's just there, the link. You can click it and away you go.
Absolutely. And you can always contact us at bfcpcontact@gmail.com.
We'd love to hear from you.
All right. Well, you know, as they say.
What do they say? Good luck.
Have fun.
Have fun.
Don't die.
Don't die.
Don't
unless you're
die.
my opponent in a fighting game, then please die, because I like to.
Yeah, unless you're playing Stick Fight and then
die.
Die. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for coming by, guys.
Thanks
Take
for
care.
Bye. Ciao.
And that's our time and the end of our episode.
But don't feel sad it's over. Be glad it happened. From the two of us in the basement, thanks for tuning in.
Join us next time.
And feel free to send us any feedback on our socials or send us a direct email at bfcpcontact@gmail.com.
And if you're really interested in what we're doing, join us on Patreon, where we will have loads of behind-the-scenes stuff and uncut takes as more episodes are released. Patreon.com/basements, faults, and catapults.
We're always excited to hear from you because we love engagement. We look forward to our next catapult launch and hope you can join us for the ensuing chaos.
Good luck.
See you next time. Looks like Pal World has released 6 Christmas skins for everybody. And I'm really glad they didn't release 4 skins.
Come on. You bastard.
See, if I was Pal World, I would have released exactly 4.
I'm
mad. For that reason.
I'm mad about it.
You gotta troll your player base, man. You gotta troll your player base.
Definitely gotta troll your player base.
You gotta troll them once in a while. 4 new skins every month.